up, y'all? Welcome into the warm-up show here on Grind City Media, episode 1 for game 1 of the home season for the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm Lane Whitaker. He's Michael Wallace, and we appreciate you tapping in with us here for the next half hour as we get you set for the Grizzlies home opener tonight against the Orlando Magic. The Grizzlies are 1-1 on the season. The Magic are 2-0 on the season, and welcome in, Mike. We've been around, I was thinking about this earlier today, for a lot of NBA openings through the years between the two of us combined. And it still gets me excited when you get the first game of the year, the home opener, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, this is something that the Grizzlies and the organization has been building up all week long. A lot of great giveaways. As a matter of fact, the first 10,000 fans in the building tonight gets this. I can't put it over the headset, Lane, but hey, this reversible bucket hat. Yes, this reversible bucket hat for the 30th year. Going back to the Vancouver throwback. As you see behind us, and you may see some designs of the court behind us too, it's all about throwback night, but the Grizzlies want to throw back to Wednesday night and try to get a victory and show more of what they showed Wednesday as opposed to what they showed last night.
When the Grizzlies lost 128-108 to the Houston Rockets. You were there in Houston. Pretty good game up through halftime for the Grizzlies, and then that third quarter was just brutal. The Grizzlies couldn't make a bucket. The Rockets were outscoring them, and the Grizzlies just felt like they couldn't get anything to go for them in that third quarter.
Yeah, it couldn't. I mean, that was one of the situations where they were out-rebounded. They were pounded on the glass. The turnovers became more costly. They gave up 29 points on turnovers, and the offense was just discombobulated, right? You know, this team has to get tougher. They have to get better. Taylor Jenkins told us afterwards, and we'll go to his sound in a minute, that they basically got punked last night in Houston, and that's unfortunate. You don't want to hear that 2 games into a season, but the energy should be different in this building tonight, especially with a couple of guys who could be on the runway to touching the court in a few minutes.
Yeah, Grizzlies out-rebounded 64-43, 23-14 offensive rebounds by the Rockets. Let's go to that clip of Taylor Jenkins, because he talks about what they need to do better, and then he also talked about what he's hoping to see tonight from this home crowd here in Memphis.
They applied pressure on us, and we couldn't get our offense going. That's what it came down to. I thought we had some decent shots, probably a few too many floaters, had some open threes, and you know, some turnovers for sure. Their physicality changed, but our inability to rebound definitely hurt our ability to get out and get to that pace that we were playing with in the first half.
Opportunity to turn it around tomorrow, back home for the home opener. Just what do you expect from the home crowd, and just what this team can give tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, our fans have been waiting a long time to see Grizzlies in action. It's going to be hopefully electric. There's no better basketball than in FedEx Forum when the crowd's rocking. So hopefully come out, and as I said, we respond. And you know, we're going up against a great Orlando Magic team, but we're going to need that energy from our fans that we need, you know, every single day, you know, every home game. But I would expect nothing less than this crowd rocking tomorrow night.
So like Taylor said, he thinks it's going to be electric, exciting in here tonight. I was just talking to some people. They said people are walking up and buying the last tickets in the upper deck right now.
Yeah.
They think it's going to be a full house here tonight. And they're hoping to see the return of some of the Grizzlies players that we haven't seen yet this season. Well, one guy in particular. Why don't you take us, Mike, through the injury report for the Grizzlies as we head into this game tonight?
Well, coming into tonight's game, the Grizzlies had updated their injury report. Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. were both questionable coming into tonight's game. Taylor Jenkins told us during the pregame session about 20 minutes ago that both guys are going to get out on the court, warm up, and we're going to see how they feel coming off of those warm-ups. Jaren Jackson Jr. pretty much gave everyone the thumbs up as he headed to the tunnel back to the locker room. So indications are he's going to make his debut. Jaren's been out since October 1 when he was sidelined with a hamstring strain on the first day of training camp. Ja Morant had a little bit of a thigh bruise last night. He had a collision with Dylan Brooks. He was on the unfortunate end of that collision last night. Finished the game, but woke up with some soreness, and he should be coming out here in a few minutes on the court behind us to do his warm-ups, and then we'll see where he goes from there.
Yeah, and Conchar is also doubtful. I don't know what happened with him last night. It was foot soreness was what it was said. So,
yeah.
But I saw him out here earlier, but I didn't see him warm up. I saw him just out here. So
yeah, he was just out here, And we know G.G. Jackson, Luke Kennard, Cam Spencer, Vince Williams Jr. have always been, they've been out. Yeah. They're going to continue to be out right now. Although I will say Vince Williams is trending through his workouts. He's doing the play groups. He's gradually building, and I think he'll be the next one to get a chance to come back, and hopefully we'll see something or hear something more definitive on Vince Williams Jr. in the coming days.
We talked about the Grizzlies getting out-rebounded last night, and that's been an issue not just last night. It's been an issue we've seen the last couple of years at times. It was a little better last night having Zach Edey on the court for more than 15 minutes to help out with the rebounding, but they could get a lot of help tonight if Jaren Jackson's able to play. What else do you think Jaren brings to this team and helps with if he's back tonight?
A completeness, right? We've been evaluating these Memphis Grizzlies since training camp, since media day, based on them being healthy, based on them being whole. We haven't seen Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart. We haven't seen those four guys together yet. And then we hadn't seen anything between Jaren and Zach Edey being a dynamic on the court. So Jaren will give you, a taste of what this team can be like when it's whole. They certainly need his size. They need his stature. They need his defensive acumen. And they definitely need his scoring when they go through droughts like they did in that third quarter
for
against
sure.
Houston.
Spreading the floor out, being able to hit those threes, draw the defense out a little bit more. And then I think Jaren just helps out to have another 7-foot body on the court with the rebounding and those situations. Another thing that's kind of plagued the Grizzlies through 2 games, and look, tiny sample size, it's 2 games, I get it. But opponents have shot 81 free throws in the 2 games. Now, partly that might be the referees trying to put a little more emphasis on hand checking.
Especially early in the season.
Yeah, early in the season, we get it. But it's hard to stay in the game if your opponents are shooting 40 free throws a game.
It is. And Houston got back into that game because they were able to get to the free throw line. And they were able to get some physicality. And we're seeing Brandon Clark right now. He's a guy that needs to step up. His first 2 games have been less than what was expected from him. He's played limited minutes in both of those games. They need some energy on the rebounding. They need some physicality. And I think he can sort of even that, that free throw discrepancy out if he can be more physical and get to the line himself. But that front line is definitely going to have to be a lot tougher than they were the last night.
Well, I think Brandon Clark kind of speaks to the performance of the bench these last 2 games. You're still without several players, and you've had to go deep. Taylor Jenkins has used an 11-man rotation in these games. Tried to keep the minutes kind of flat. He was talking about pregame tonight. But the Grizzlies bench has scored 92 points in these 2 games. And that's without a huge game from BC. That's with Santi getting 27 that first game, but only 2 last night. And the bench stepping up. Jalen Wells has been great.
Jay Huff's
been incredible every game.
Scottie Pippen Jr. Has come out and done some great things. You've seen these guys go deep, and I talked to Taylor about that. Game 1, they played, all 11 guys got between 14 minutes, which was Brandon Clark, and Santi Aldama got 32 minutes. 14 to 32, he played 11 guys that way. And people are kind of critical about, going that deep into the bench, but the bottom line is that when you open with 6 games in 9 nights and you're without 5 rotation players, you need to go deep. You need to rely on your bench, and this bench has answered the call for the most part. They got to get a little bit more from the starters and a little bit more consistent. That got away from them in Houston, but I think tonight you'll see a different look from the bench that looks a lot more familiar than to Wednesday night's game.
Well, I'm excited to see it tonight, and you're going to see it in about 50 minutes from now. We're going to take a break right now. We're going to come back. Jessica Benson's going to join us. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
We got to talk about Scottie Pippen Jr. Scottie has inked that contract, and he is now officially off the two-way. He is a member of the regular rotation.
Well-deserved, from my opinion. He straight up earned this one from all the time put in last season with the injuries to Summer League.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's Dinosaur Draft.
Give me Littlefoot.
Littlefoot's a great pick in your alternate reality.
Right.
in your fake dinosaur draft, because you don't believe in real dinosaurs. Give me a Velociraptor. It's so cute and so scary.
That's
I'm sorry.
not a real Velociraptor.
That's not a chicken.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up JustinTimberlake.com.
One of the things I really do like about the history of the Memphis Grizzlies is that we have people who have moved here and stayed here. I like how much some of those guys have not only made millions here and won games here, but spent real time here and raise children here.
Yes.
And become a real part of the community.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. We are 50 minutes till tip-off for the season opener here at FedEx Forum between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Orlando Magic. And I'm joined now by Jessica Benson, host of the eponymous Jessica Benson Show. I just like using that word.
It's a good word.
Here on Grind City Media.
You brought your thesaurus here on home opening night.
I did.
I like it.
Jessica's also going to be on the radio call tonight with Eric Hasseltine and Elliot Perry on ESPN 92.9. And now comes the time of our show where Jessica gives us her main character.
Ooh, it is a main character that I was hoping we left last season.
Oh, no.
A character that should have been put to bed.
Is this an inanimate
It is Grizzlies
object?
PR Twitter.
Oh, no.
And there is nothing I would have loved more than to say it is not the main character tonight, but it is, because we have both John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. as game time decisions for tonight's home opener. Jaren Jackson Jr. just finished going through his warm-up. Taylor Jenkins spoke pregame. They were just trying to make sure everything felt good coming out of a workout this morning. Warm-up tonight. The same will be for Ja with an injury that came up after last night's loss to the Houston Rockets. So we're on injury watch yet again, where I wish that we could just say John and Jaren are the main characters, because we haven't seen this team play a meaningful home game in a minute.
Yeah, Jaren told Mike when he finished his warm-up he felt good. So
he looked good.
Yeah, hopefully he's good to go. Now we'll see if Ja comes out or not. Taylor Jenkins said the Ja injury was like kind of popped up after the game. Like I don't even think he realized it was happening until after the game. So hopefully Ja's going to be good to go. I mean, I get there's also 4 games in the next 6 nights, right? So a lot to figure out, but the bench has been good these first 2 games for the Grizzlies. They've scored 92 points in these 2 games combined. So I guess are we built to sustain going through injuries? Because we talked about this on your show.
Right.
Injuries are going to happen. Right. I know we all have PTSD from last year, but it's going to happen.
Yes, and that is a normal part of the NBA season. I do think there's a desire to figure out what this really looks like, though, right? Because up until you see Jaren Jackson Jr. alongside Zach Edey and the rest of these starters, once you see Vince Williams Jr. and Gigi Jackson and what they add to the wing depth, it will be difficult to really know what this group looks like at full strength. And the fact that we haven't seen that yet is a storyline that continues to hover. But in the meantime, outside of last night's third quarter, which was a doomful even a word?
Brutal,
doomful third quarter for the Grizzlies in Houston. Taylor Jenkins spoke before the game tonight. One of the reasons he's going 11 deep. Yes, the 4 and 6 here at home, the 6 and 9 games to start the season. But it's also this new really pushing the pace offense and trying to use lineups, keeping guys fresh because they're out here running and gunning.
Yeah, because Taylor was asked pregame, like, is the way you've substituted, you going 11 deep, nobody playing more than like 25 minutes. Dez played 29 last night. But is that just because we have 4 games in 6 nights, or is it because you're trying to keep guys fresh because you're playing so fast? And he said it was a little bit of both.
Yeah, and I would have thought that it was more trending towards the, what did he call it, the game density that we're having. Yeah. So that can be our Taylorism of the night. But it really seemed as if a part of it does have something to do with schematically what the Grizzlies are trying to do.
I also like the airtime decisions. That's one of his new phrases.
Yes.
And the 3 Ps, we know that one.
Always.
All right, well, you're going to be on radio call tonight on 92.9, and I'll see you next Friday on your show, but I'll see you every day this week in the
and
office.
I'll see you on the Rewind.
The Rewind, yeah, we're
Don't
back.
forget the Grind City Media Rewind coming up after the game.
Hey, we're going to watch a clip right now of Chris Vernon and those guys talking about how great the Yuki Kawamura experience has been so far. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal.
All right, who taught Yuki to raise the roof?
Ja.
He's done it now 3 times.
So Dev and I talked about this, and we've said Ja is starting at it's like he's giving him a history lesson.
Look at this.
In the culture.
That is after the Santi Aldama alley-oop.
And then he did it after a free throw too. At the end of the game, when Dez hit the free throws, they cut to Yuki. He's like doing this.
Yuki is the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, he is.
We protect Yuki at all costs.
At all costs.
Here's the other.
He's taking a picture. Hey,
you taking it right now?
Yeah, we're live. This is DeMichael Cole. We're live on the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal joins us. We're not going to talk about the Braves like we normally do. We're going to talk about the Grizzlies.
Not today.
You were in Houston last night. What was your takeaway from that third quarter? I saw you tweet that there's like a couple of things that you think are going to be might be problems for the Grizzlies this season.
Yeah. The physicality, as Taylor Jenkins said after the game, you know, for lack of better words, he said they got pumped.
Yeah.
But when I was watching it, the rebounding really stood out to me. It felt like every time Houston missed a shot, they were getting the rebound and they were second chance points. And the Grizzlies kind of were derailed at that point. Taylor Jenkins has emphasized pace so much, right? And when the Grizzlies aren't able to get in that pace is when the opposing team is scoring. And Houston, 39 points in that third quarter. The Grizzlies only had 18. So basically, Houston was scoring. The Grizzlies weren't able to get in their pace. They struggled. The Grizzlies got to be able to be they don't even have to be elite like the Jonas Valanciunas, Steven Adams years at rebounding, but they got to be better than average. And right now, they've only been average to below average in the first two games.
I thought the shooting was interesting last night. You talked about the shooting too, but I thought it was interesting that Santi Aldama has 27 points in game one, has 2 last night. Dez didn't even attempt a three-point shot until I think the third quarter. They're going to run into teams who are like, all right, we're not going to give you a 3. We know what you're trying to do now. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Grizzlies are able to adjust to that this year.
Yeah, I was talking to Taylor Jenkins after that game yesterday too, and asked him, like, were you happy with the frequency with three-point shooting? Because in that first game against Utah, 26 three-point attempts in the first half. Not the whole game. Against Houston, 28 for the entire game. So the variance was wide for them, but I felt like in that first game they were like, this is what we want to be in three-point shots, and they were making them. Everyone's feeling good.
They're making them.
You got to make them right. But they shot a decent percentage against Houston, and Taylor said he felt like they passed up a bunch of three-point opportunities, a bunch of shots, things like that. So you just can't have that. You got to be able to take and make higher than 28 shots in a game. Some teams, I mean, Boston made more than they made 29 in one game, and the Grizzlies had a game where they only shot 28.
So we're live on TV right now, and I can't turn around and look, but I just heard a cheer, and I see Ja
you know what that means. You know what that means.
So Ja's here. Ja's going through his warm-up now. We know he's a game-time decision. I'd be surprised if he doesn't play. It's home opener. And, if he can go tonight, hopefully he's not. I mean, gets a night off tomorrow night. Then we got 2 games coming up after that. But with this new offense, with the Grizzlies trying to adjust to it, I think the bench has been so important to the way they've had to play these last 2 days. Because like Taylor talked about before the game tonight, trying to spread out the minutes so everyone can play fast and play up-tempo. Santi Aldama told me he'd never played in an offense this fast before. I think a lot of these guys haven't. Have you noticed when they're playing against these other teams struggling at all? Or is it still kind of early on to try to get a grip on that?
I've been talking to a lot of people about this new offense, this pace, and everyone has said the same thing. It's kind of wild, like league-wide, not just in Memphis, league-wide. The one thing that I keep hearing everybody say is everybody's fresh at the beginning of the season. Everyone plays fast. Grizzlies people have said it. Ime Udoka, Houston Rockets head coach, he said it. Marcus Smart talking to him, he said it. A few more people around the league. What's the separator with the pace is when January gets here and you're on that 14th back-to-back of the season, are you still playing with that same pace? Everyone won't be. Right now, the Grizzlies aren't the only team emphasizing pace. The Rockets were talking about it when they played. The Jazz were talking about it when they played against them. So teams are going to slow down and just get beat up over the course of the season. But Marcus Smart said, you know the phrase better than me probably, but he said something like, they're shooting for the stars, but they're okay when landed on the moon. So basically, they want to set the speed. They want to say, hey, we're going to play so fast that even if we don't play that fast, we're still playing faster than everyone else.
Shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll be among the stars.
That's it. See, I knew you would know it.
I'm full of wisdom like that, Michael. There's a Chick-fil-A cow walking around right now too. I don't know what's going on. There's a Chick-fil-A.
I don't need to eat more chicken. I've been eating a lot of chicken lately.
Well, speaking of chicken, Zach Edey's been giving out some barbecue chicken in the preseason. We haven't seen it so consistently during the season. I thought last night he had a much better game than game one. What do you make of him from what you've seen so far in his fit with the Grizzlies?
He's not satisfied. And I wrote about it yesterday, too, how right after the game, I mean, it was so intentional, I couldn't help but ask him about it. He didn't really, shake other people's hands, go up to anyone else. He went straight to Steven Adams. And Steven Adams, used to play with the Grizzlies. So Steven Adams is talking with all these other people, right? He's talking to, as you see in this was Luke Kennard, Jay Huff, other people people are coming up to him, and Zach Edey's like, he's not leaving. Like, he's letting those people get their conversation off. He's like, okay, now what were we saying? Yeah. And so he's really a student right now. You get that sense he's not satisfied. He's learning, and he knows it's a process for him. So I think that's the main thing you need with someone of his caliber. Like, this is a 2-time National Player of the Year. He's accomplished everything he could at the collegiate level, but you sense that he still has that hunger and that thirst for more.
He's unsatisfied. I'm not satisfied with you being on the show. We're going to have you back in the next few weeks.
Let's do it.
Maybe we'll get to the Braves one of these days. Freeman's a traitor. I just want to say that.
I didn't know how to feel when I saw that.
I felt terrible. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back here on the warm-up show to close this thing out on Grind City Media. Thanks, man.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges, and you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
John Cena was spilling life lessons on this stream, bro. So the best thing I watched all week, John Cena on the Cassinet stream. By the way, he stole your hairdo. You got to make a phone call.
I was about to say, you showed me a little bit of this clip because I saw the messy room, and the only thing I could see is John Cena's hair. I mean, come on, bro.
He stole your bar.
It's literally identical.
He stole your flow, bar for bar, word for word.
How is mine more gray than his, though?
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
The three big beats this week. One was root for points in honor of John Roser. How about that Miami-Louisville game? Crushed the over, which was 60. Finished with 97 total points, 52-45. Meanwhile, the Academy's covering again, both Army and Navy, getting the job done. Army, best start since 96.
America.
Navy crushed Charlotte. They're ranked 23rd and 24th in the country.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Hot Wheels fans, don't miss the exciting return of Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow Party at FedEx Forum. Don't miss the world premiere of Scalosaurus. Watch your favorite Hot Wheels monster trucks light up the floor, including Gungster, Bone Shaker, and the legendary Bigfoot. Plus the dazzling dance party, laser light show, and more. And save up to 50% on kids' tickets. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind Hot Wheels experience at FedEx Forum, November 2nd and 3rd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I am Lang Whitaker. He's Michael Wallace, and we are 36 minutes from tip-off here for the Grizzlies home opener against the Orlando Magic. Now's the point of the show where we go around the NBA a little bit. I wanted to start in New Orleans, where DeJounte Murray, big offseason acquisition for the Pelicans, and they've had such bad injury luck, like another team we know the last few years. DeJounte Murray has a broken hand, out probably 4 to 6 weeks or more.
That's unfortunate, man.
Hurts for them.
It is. I mean, you're unveiling, a top 20 player in the NBA. And, obviously this is a guy that went through surgery and had successful surgery. He's definitely going to be a part of their push for the playoffs. Hopefully he gets back relatively quickly and they can have some chemistry right there because they definitely need his playmaking ability. Injuries are part of the game. Unfortunately, they're striking on day one for some of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about it before the season. You know it's going to happen. And, the Western Conference is so crowded. Like, you need everybody out there as much as you can get them. You know, and for the Pelicans, that's got to hurt. I wanted to send a quick shout out to the Abdur-Rahim family. I grew up in Atlanta with Sharif Abdur-Rahim, was on my high school team. He had this little brother hanging around whose name was Amir Abdur-Rahim. Amir Abdur-Rahim, with Sharif, of course, ended up being a Grizzlies legend, an NBA legend. And Amir ended up being a college coach. He took Kennesaw State. He went 1-21 his first season. He got him to the NCAA tournament, went on to USF, was the AAC Coach of the Year last year, and he passed away this week during a medical procedure. He was 43 years old. It's unbelievable to lose someone that young, so talented, and such a good person. And I just wanted to take a moment for us to say to Sharif and to the Abdur-Rahim family, our thoughts, prayers, condolences are with you guys.
Yeah, no question about that, man. And as you said, we know what Abdur Rahim means to this organization. This is a throwback night tonight on opening night. He was a part of those throwback years for the Memphis Grizzlies. And like I've heard you talk about being around him and his family, even in Abdur Rahim's current role, with the NBA G League, so you've been around the family for a long time, man. And our prayers and our condolences go out to that family. And to lose a man like that in the prime of his coaching career, he was just about to really take off. So peace and blessings to his family, man, during this difficult time.
This has been a big weekend here in Memphis with the Ja 2s coming out. The Ja 2s have been released. First colorway has been out. Now the other colorways are starting to come out. Ja's been wearing, I assume, the Nightmare, the red ones tonight. I can't say no. He's actually not. I'm turning around. He's wearing the reverse scratch Ja 1s because they match the uniform. Sorry about that. But the Ja 2s have been out. There's been a Ja 2 truck all over the city this morning. I was driving around. I drove past Cozy Corner. It was parked out in the parking lot. They're selling shoes out there. It's been cool to see the Ja 2 release and the way the city is, like we knew they were going to embrace the Ja 2s, but the way the city has embraced the Ja line from Nike.
And but I was with Ja Morant last night when our Grind City Media social team, showed how many people were lined up, basically chasing that truck around the city, right? Trying to figure out how to get that swag. And, Ja looked at it and he was like, man, that's love. That's nothing but love. And he knows the image, that image right there that you're seeing right there is plastered on a building, FedEx Logistics building right across the street from the arena. It's all over the truck right there. And Ja saw it, and he's aware of it, and he talks about the love he has for this city, and that's why he continues to do what he's doing, which is why he's out here right now trying to push through some soreness in his thigh. He's going through his regular warm-up right behind us, and expectations are that he's going to be out here playing. I know he would hate to miss this, for sure. From that situation, so we're a couple of minutes away from getting a definitive word on his status, but it sounds like Jaren Jackson Jr. will be available tonight.
There's also a Ja 2 Nike event at Snowden School tomorrow, I think from 12 to 6. It's like an all-day-long block party with basketball games and music and all sorts of stuff all day long. So if you're in that neighborhood, go check it out tomorrow. We're waiting to hear officially on Ja and Jaren if they're able to go or not. Last-minute updates. You got anything you're looking for tonight from this team to bounce back from the game they had last night?
Well, this is going to be a tough Orlando Magic team. Eric Hasseltine and I on the radio call were talking about how, these aren't the Orlando Magic that are struggling in the lottery every year. This is a team that has the Wagner brothers who are ready to play. This is a team that made the playoffs last year. Paulo Blancaro is a guy that's ready to go. He's a superstar, young superstar in his league. So this is not going to be an easy game for the Grizzlies by any stretch. So what I'm looking forward to seeing is how the Grizzlies' frontline physicality can stand up against Orlando's frontline physicality and versatility. They didn't pass the test last night in Houston, but they got a chance right now, 24 hours later, to pass that test in front of these wonderful home fans tonight.
The other guy on Orlando that always catches my eye when I watch him play is Jalen Suggs, who went to Gonzaga like Brandon Clark, but his ability to play defense is so underrated. He finished second team all defense in the NBA last year. As a young player, I think if you're the Grizzlies, that's somebody you got to keep an eye on to get onto Ja or Bane. He's going to switch on either guy. Jalen Suggs is so good for that team. I watched their game against Miami on opening night when it was Pat Riley court night. You were familiar with that organization.
All
Pat
the
Riley
legends were there.
Everybody was there. Dwayne Wade, Haslam, all those guys were there.
And they destroyed
Pat Riley was there. The Magic, they were not intimidated at all. They came back in that second half. Jamal Mosley's done an amazing job with this team, this young Magic team. We'll see. I think they're still maybe a player or two away down the road. There's Devin Walker down the road from being able to be a playoff contender type team. But this Magic team's really good, and it's not going to be an easy game for these Grizzlies tonight. So Grizzlies are here tonight against the Magic. We're here again on Monday night against the Chicago Bulls.
4 games.
We're here on Wednesday night against the Brooklyn Nets, and then Thursday night, Halloween, against the Milwaukee Bucks. You going to wear a Halloween costume?
Probably so. I'll figure out what I'm going to be.
I got one. I ordered one on Amazon. It's here. I'm still trying to. I tried it on the other day, and I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to wear it on the air. I don't know. It's a little embarrassing.
You know what? We got to do it now. The warm-up is here. The warm-up show is here. Man, we got to wear those costumes on the warm-up show for Thursday's game.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys tapping in with us tonight. We're going to do this all season long before every home game, live courtside here at FedEx Forum. You can right now flip over to FanDuel Sports Network to watch Grizzlies Live with Rob Fisher, Chris Vernon, Pete Pranica, Brevin Knight, or flip over to 92.9 ESPN with Eric Hasseltine Elliot Perry, and Jessica Benson. I almost said Bennett Doyle because he's up there too.
Bennett Doyle.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bennett Doyle. All right, but we appreciate you tapping in with us. We'll see you again in 48 hours right here, live from courtside. He's Michael Wallace. I'm Lane Whitaker. You're watching Grind City Media.